This is a relaxing documentary for sleep and curious minds. If you like my videos, please leave a like and feel free to subscribe. Tonight, we are setting off on a quiet journey through some of the most extraordinary discoveries ever made. Together, we'll travel from the deepest parts of the ocean to the highest reaches of space. We'll meet remarkable animals, explore ancient forests, uncover hidden worlds beneath our feet, and learn about the incredible universe we all call home. There is nothing you need to remember, nothing you need to solve. No test awaits you at the end of this journey. Simply listen, let your imagination wander, and allow these stories to carry your thoughts wherever they choose to go. The universe is unimaginably vast, and our own planet is filled with mysteries that scientists continue to uncover every year. Even after centuries of exploration, we still know surprisingly little about many parts of the natural world. In fact, more than 80% of Earth's oceans remain unexplored. Millions of species have never been identified. Entire ecosystems exist that no human has ever seen with their own eyes. As you relax tonight, imagine yourself floating gently through these hidden worlds, observing them from a peaceful distance. Take a slow breath, settle into your chair or beneath your blanket, and let's begin with one of the biggest discoveries of all. Title: Did you know there are more stars than we can truly imagine? If you've ever looked up into the night sky, far away from city lights, you've probably noticed thousands of tiny points of light scattered across the darkness. It already feels endless, but what you're seeing is only a tiny fraction of what actually exists. Our eyes can usually detect just a few thousand stars at once, even under perfect conditions. The Milky Way galaxy alone contains somewhere between 100 and 400 billion stars, and our galaxy is only one among hundreds of billions of galaxies spread throughout the observable universe. When astronomers combine these estimates, they arrive at a number so enormous that it almost loses all meaning. There may be more stars in the observable universe than there are grains of sand on every beach, every desert, and every coastline on Earth combined. Every one of those stars is a distant sun. Some are much smaller than ours. Others are so enormous that our sun would appear tiny beside them. Many of these stars are surrounded by planets. Some planets are frozen worlds. Others are blazing infernos. Some may contain deep oceans, towering mountains, or endless clouds. Unlike anything found on Earth, it is entirely possible that somewhere among these countless worlds, life has found another way to exist. Perhaps at this very moment, another living creature is looking into its own night sky and wondering the very same thing we do. Are we alone? The answer remains one of humanity's greatest mysteries. Trees quietly speak to one another. At first glance, forests seem peaceful and silent. Trees stand perfectly still. They do not walk. They do not call out. They appear completely independent. But beneath the soil lies an extraordinary hidden network. Scientists have discovered that many trees are connected through underground fungi known as mycorrhizae. These microscopic threads spread through the earth, linking tree roots together into vast underground systems. Some researchers affectionately call this network the Wood Wide Web. Through these fungal connections, trees can exchange nutrients, water, and even chemical signals. When one tree is attacked by insects, nearby trees may receive warning signals and begin producing defensive chemicals before the insects even reach them. Older, larger trees, sometimes called mother trees, can also support younger seedlings by sharing nutrients through these underground pathways. Although trees don't think or communicate in the way animals do, these networks show that forests function less like collections of individual trees and more like interconnected communities. Next time you walk through a forest, imagine the quiet conversations taking place beneath your feet, hidden from view but constantly at work. Octopuses have 3 hearts and blue blood. The octopus is one of the most unusual animals on Earth, soft-bodied, incredibly intelligent, and astonishingly adaptable. It seems almost alien. One remarkable feature is its circulatory system. Unlike humans, who rely on a single heart, an octopus has 3. 2 hearts pump blood to the gills, where oxygen is absorbed from the water. The 3rd heart pumps oxygen-rich blood throughout the rest of the body. Interestingly, this main heart temporarily stops beating while the octopus swims. Swimming becomes so exhausting that many octopuses actually prefer crawling along the ocean floor. Their blood is blue rather than red. This unusual color comes from a molecule called hemocyanin, which contains copper instead of iron. Hemocyanin transports oxygen more efficiently in cold, low-oxygen environments, making it perfectly suited to life beneath the sea. Every detail of the octopus reflects millions of years of evolution, shaping a creature unlike almost anything else on Earth. There is a giant ocean beneath the Earth's surface. When we think about Earth's water, we picture oceans, lakes, rivers, and glaciers. Yet scientists have found evidence suggesting that enormous amounts of water may be locked deep within the Earth's mantle. This isn't liquid water flowing through underground caverns. Instead, the water exists trapped inside the crystal structure of a mineral called ringwoodite. This mineral forms hundreds of kilometers beneath the surface under immense pressure. Researchers believe the total amount of water stored within these deep rocks could rival or even exceed the volume of all the oceans at Earth's surface. This hidden reservoir plays a major role in Earth's geology. It influences volcanic activity, the movement of tectonic plates, and the long-term cycling of water across our planet. Even beneath our feet, Earth continues to hold remarkable secrets. Some jellyfish can begin life again. Most living creatures experience life as a one-way journey: birth, growth, old age, death. But one tiny jellyfish has challenged this familiar pattern. Known as Turritopsis diurni, it possesses an extraordinary ability. When injured, stressed, or nearing the end of its normal life cycle, it can reverse its own development. Instead of dying, it transforms its adult cells back into an earlier stage, becoming a young polyp once again. From there, it can grow into a new adult. Scientists sometimes refer to it as the immortal jellyfish. Although it can still be eaten by predators or die from disease, its ability has fascinated researchers because it offers clues about cell regeneration and aging. Black holes are among the quietest giants in the universe. Imagine drifting through space, far from any star, where darkness stretches in every direction. In this silent expanse lies one of the universe's most mysterious creations, the black hole. Despite their dramatic reputation, black holes are not cosmic vacuum cleaners that roam the universe, swallowing everything in sight. Instead, they simply possess an incredibly strong gravitational pull because an enormous amount of matter has been compressed into an astonishingly small space. The boundary surrounding a black hole is called the event horizon. Beyond this invisible edge, gravity becomes so powerful that not even light can escape. This is why black holes appear perfectly dark against the glowing backdrop of space. Many black holes are born when massive stars reach the end of their lives after shining for millions of years. These stars exhaust their nuclear fuel without the outward pressure created by fusion. Gravity takes over, causing the star's core to collapse inward with unimaginable force. The result can be an object so dense that a single teaspoon of its material, if it could somehow be removed, would weigh far more than any mountain on Earth. Yet black holes are surprisingly quiet neighbors. If our sun were magically replaced by a black hole of the same mass, Earth's orbit would remain almost exactly the same. The difference is that without sunlight, our planet would slowly become frozen and dark. At the very center of our own Milky Way galaxy lies a supermassive black hole containing about 4 million times the mass of our sun. Although it sounds frightening, it sits peacefully thousands of light years away, quietly holding the galaxy together through gravity. Scientists continue to study black holes because they challenge our understanding of space, time, and the laws of physics themselves. Even now, these silent giants remind us that the universe still keeps many of its greatest secrets hidden. Fireflies turn chemistry into living light on warm summer evenings. Tiny flashes of green and yellow drift through the darkness like floating stars. These gentle lights belong to fireflies, insects that have mastered one of nature's most beautiful abilities, producing light without creating noticeable heat. This process is known as bioluminescence. Inside the firefly's abdomen, a special chemical called luciferin reacts with oxygen in the presence of an enzyme called luciferase. The result is an incredibly efficient glow. Unlike a traditional light bulb, which wastes much of its energy as heat, a firefly converts nearly all of its energy directly into light. Scientists estimate that this natural process is more than 90% efficient. The flashing patterns are not random. Each species has its own unique rhythm, allowing males and females to recognize one another. During the breeding season, some flash slowly, others blink in quick bursts. Entire forests can appear to sparkle as thousands of fireflies communicate across the night. Their light also serves another purpose. Many fireflies contain chemicals that make them unpleasant to eat. Their glowing bodies warn hungry predators to stay away. Nature often rewards those who pay close attention. What appears to be simple beauty is often carrying an important message. Every tiny flash is part of an ancient conversation that has continued for millions of years. Earth's tallest living organisms have been growing since before many kingdoms existed. In the forests of California stand some of the tallest living things ever known. These are the coast redwoods. Some tower more than 100 meters above the forest floor, reaching heights comparable to 30-story buildings. Standing beneath one is a humbling experience. Their trunks seem to disappear into the canopy far overhead. Sunlight filters softly through branches that sway gently in the breeze. Some of these remarkable trees began growing more than 2,000 years ago. They were already ancient when the Roman Empire was expanding across Europe. They continued growing through countless generations of human history. Unlike many other trees, redwoods possess thick bark that helps protect them from fire, rather than fearing occasional forest fires. They often depend on them. Fire clears away smaller plants, competing for sunlight and nutrients while opening space for new seedlings to grow. Their bark contains very little resin, making it surprisingly resistant to flames. Each year, these giants quietly add another growth ring beneath their bark, recording changing seasons like pages in a living history book. Scientists continue studying these forests because they store enormous amounts of carbon, support diverse wildlife, and reveal how ecosystems remain healthy over long periods. Walking among these ancient giants offers a rare opportunity to stand beside living witnesses of history. The deep ocean is darker than the night sky. When most people imagine the ocean, they picture waves rolling beneath bright sunlight, but sunlight reaches only a small fraction of the sea, beyond about 200 meters below the surface. Daylight begins to disappear. Far deeper lies a region known as the Midnight Zone. Here, complete darkness has existed for millions of years. No sunrise, no sunset, only endless black water stretching in every direction. The pressure becomes almost unimaginable. At depths of 4,000 meters, the weight of the water above is hundreds of times greater than the pressure we experience at sea level. Yet life flourishes. Transparent fish drift silently through the darkness. Giant squid move almost invisibly through the water. Strange crustaceans crawl across the seafloor. Many creatures produce their own light through bioluminescence, creating glowing blue or green flashes that briefly illuminate the darkness before fading once more. Some use light to hunt, others use it to hide. Some even create glowing clouds to confuse predators before disappearing into the blackness. Scientists estimate that we have explored only a tiny fraction of these deep oceans. Entire ecosystems may still wait to be discovered. Every expedition reveals species that no human has ever seen before. Even on our own planet, vast frontiers remain unexplored. Your body replaces more cells than you might realize. As you relax and listen, trillions of tiny cells are quietly carrying out their work inside your body. Most of us think of ourselves as remaining the same person throughout our lives, and in many ways, we do. But at the microscopic level, your body is constantly changing. Every second, millions of old cells are replaced by new ones. The lining of your stomach renews itself every few days, protecting it from the powerful acids needed to digest food. Your skin continually sheds tiny flakes that become part of the dust around us. Red blood cells circulate through your body for about 4 months before being replaced by fresh ones made inside your bones. Even your skeleton is not permanent. Bone tissue is continuously broken down and rebuilt through a careful balance of specialized cells. This ongoing renewal allows your body to heal cuts, repair injuries, and adapt throughout your lifetime. Not every cell is replaced so quickly. Some nerve cells in parts of the brain can last for decades, preserving memories and helping shape who you are. Still, it is remarkable to think that while you rest tonight, countless microscopic workers continue their silent labor, maintaining one of the most complex living systems ever known. You rarely notice their efforts, yet every heartbeat, every breath, and every thought depends upon them. The universe stretches farther than imagination can comfortably grasp, yet incredible wonders exist just as easily beneath a single leaf, inside a drop of seawater, or within the billions of living cells that make up our own bodies. Nature has spent billions of years experimenting, adapting, and creating. Every mountain, every forest, every animal, and every distant galaxy tells part of an ongoing story, a story that humanity is only beginning to understand. As we continue our journey together, we'll discover creatures that seem impossible, plants with extraordinary abilities, planets unlike anything in our solar system, and ancient mysteries hidden beneath the Earth itself. So settle in, relax, and let your thoughts drift peacefully onward as we uncover even more remarkable discoveries. The largest living organism on Earth is not a whale, but a mushroom. When people imagine the largest living creature on Earth, they often picture the magnificent blue whale gliding gracefully through the ocean. And while the blue whale is indeed the largest animal ever known, it is not the largest living organism. That title belongs to something far less obvious. Hidden beneath the forests of eastern Oregon in the United States lies an enormous underground network of a fungus known as the honey mushroom. At first glance, you might notice only small clusters of mushrooms appearing above the forest floor after rain. They seem separate, scattered among the fallen leaves and tree roots, but beneath the soil, they are all connected. Scientists discovered that these mushrooms are part of a single organism whose underground threads, called mycelium, spread for nearly 10 square kilometers. That is an area larger than many small towns. Researchers estimate this remarkable organism could be thousands of years old. Some estimates suggest it has been quietly growing for between 2,000 and 8,000 years. Unlike plants, fungi do not produce food through sunlight. Instead, they break down dead wood and organic matter, returning valuable nutrients to the soil and helping forests remain healthy. Without fungi like these, forests would eventually become buried beneath layers of fallen trees and leaves that never fully decompose. Although most people rarely think about fungi, they form one of the most important foundations of life on Earth. Every step through a forest is likely carried out above an invisible world of extraordinary complexity. The coldest place we know is far beyond Pluto. On a warm summer afternoon, temperatures on Earth may climb above 40 degrees Celsius. Even the coldest winter days in Antarctica cannot compare with the most frigid regions of our universe. Far beyond the orbit of Pluto lies deep interstellar space. Here, sunlight is little more than a distant memory. Temperatures approach minus 270 degrees Celsius, only a few degrees above what scientists call absolute zero. Absolute zero represents the lowest temperature theoretically possible. At this point, atoms contain almost no thermal energy. Their movement slows to nearly complete stillness. Scientists have managed to cool tiny collections of atoms in laboratories to temperatures even closer to absolute zero than those found naturally in space. These experiments allow researchers to study unusual forms of matter, including strange quantum behaviors that simply cannot be observed under ordinary conditions. Although the universe contains unimaginably hot stars and exploding galaxies, much of space itself is astonishingly cold. Between those distant islands of light stretches an ocean of near-perfect darkness and silence. Some birds can sleep while they continue flying. Long-distance migration is one of nature's greatest achievements. Every year, millions of birds travel thousands of kilometers across oceans, deserts, forests, and mountain ranges. For many years, scientists wondered how certain species managed these extraordinary journeys without becoming exhausted. The answer turned out to be remarkable. Some birds are able to sleep while flying rather than allowing their entire brain to rest. They let only one half sleep at a time. This ability is known as unihemispheric sleep. While one hemisphere remains asleep, the other stays awake just enough to maintain flight and monitor the surrounding environment. After a short period, the two sides switch roles. It is rather like having two separate night shifts taking turns. This remarkable adaptation allows birds, such as frigate birds, to remain in the air for days, sometimes even weeks, over the open ocean. Landing is often impossible during these journeys, making sleep in flight an essential survival skill. The next time you see birds soaring effortlessly across the sky, remember that some of them may be quietly resting, even as they continue their graceful voyage. Whales carry conversations across entire oceans. The ocean often appears peaceful from above. Gentle waves roll across the surface. Sunlight dances upon the water. Yet beneath that calm exterior exists an invisible world filled with sound. For whales, sound is far more important than sight. Water carries sound much farther than air. Low-frequency whale calls can travel hundreds, and under the right conditions, even thousands of kilometers. A whale may sing for hours, producing long sequences of haunting notes that echo through the sea. These songs change slowly over time. Entire populations gradually adopt new patterns, almost as though they are sharing evolving musical traditions. Scientists are still trying to understand every purpose of these songs. Some appear to attract mates, others may help whales navigate or maintain contact with distant family members. Listening to whale songs reminds us that much of Earth's communication happens beyond human hearing. The oceans are not silent. They are filled with conversations that have continued for millions of years. On one distant planet, it may rain molten glass. Our own planet experiences rain made of water. Elsewhere in the universe, weather can be far more extreme. Astronomers have discovered planets orbiting distant stars where conditions are unlike anything found on Earth. One such world is believed to experience temperatures exceeding 1,000 degrees Celsius. Powerful winds race across the planet at thousands of kilometers per hour. Under these incredible conditions, tiny particles of rock vaporize into the atmosphere. As they cool, they form droplets that may fall as molten glass, driven sideways by violent winds. This glass rain likely moves almost horizontally across the planet's surface. It is difficult to imagine such a place. There are no forests, no oceans, no gentle clouds, only blistering heat beneath an alien sky. Every new planet discovered reminds us that nature is capable of creating worlds far stranger than human imagination once believed possible. The moon is slowly drifting away from Earth. Every evening, the moon rises, much as it has for billions of years. It governs the tides. It has inspired poets, explorers, and dreamers. It seems permanent, yet the moon is slowly leaving us. Each year, it moves about 3.8 centimeters farther away from Earth. That is roughly the speed at which human fingernails grow. This gradual movement happens because Earth's rotation transfers a tiny amount of energy to the moon through our planet's ocean tides. Over millions of years, the effect becomes significant. Long ago, the moon appeared much larger in Earth's sky. Days on Earth were also shorter. Hundreds of millions of years from now, our days will continue to lengthen, while the moon slowly drifts farther into space. Although this process is incredibly slow, it reminds us that even seemingly permanent parts of our world are constantly changing. There are lakes hidden beneath Antarctica. Antarctica appears to be a frozen desert. Ice stretches endlessly toward the horizon. Temperatures remain far below freezing for much of the year. Yet beneath kilometers of solid ice lies an astonishing secret. Scientists have discovered hundreds of hidden lakes. These lakes remain liquid because pressure from the immense ice above, combined with heat rising from Earth's interior, prevents the water from freezing completely. Some of these lakes have remained isolated from the outside world for millions of years. No sunlight reaches them, no wind disturbs their surfaces. They exist in complete darkness beneath one of the harshest environments on Earth. Researchers hope these hidden waters may contain microorganisms adapted to conditions unlike anywhere else on our planet. Studying these ecosystems may even help prepare future missions, searching for life beneath the icy surfaces of distant moons like Europa and Enceladus. Sometimes the greatest mysteries lie not in distant galaxies, but beneath our own feet. As our journey continues, one thing becomes increasingly clear: the universe rarely chooses the ordinary. Again and again, nature surprises us with solutions that seem almost impossible. Birds sleep while flying, whales sing across oceans, fungi spread silently beneath forests. For thousands of years, entire lakes remain hidden beneath mountains of ice, and we've only just begun. Take another slow breath. Allow your thoughts to drift peacefully as we continue exploring the remarkable discoveries waiting just beyond the next horizon. There are places where the ocean glows like the night sky. Imagine standing on a quiet beach long after sunset. The moon hangs low over the water, and the waves roll gently toward the shore. As each wave breaks, something extraordinary happens. The water begins to glow. Tiny flashes of brilliant blue light appear with every movement, as though thousands of stars have somehow fallen into the sea. This breathtaking phenomenon is known as bioluminescence, and it is usually caused by microscopic marine organisms called dinoflagellates. During the day, these tiny creatures drift unnoticed among the ocean currents, but at night, when disturbed by a wave, a swimming fish, or even a passing boat, they produce a brief flash of light through a chemical reaction inside their cells. Scientists believe this light serves several purposes. It may startle predators. It may attract larger animals that feed on the creatures trying to eat the plankton, or it may simply be an ancient survival strategy, refined over hundreds of millions of years. Entire coastlines around the world occasionally transform into glowing blue landscapes. Every footprint left in the shallow water shines for a few seconds before fading back into darkness. Even dolphins swimming through these waters can appear outlined in brilliant blue light, leaving glowing trails behind them as they move. Moments like these remind us that nature often creates beauty without any intention of being admired. The ocean glows, not for us, but simply because life has evolved in extraordinary ways. Some bacteria can live where almost nothing else can. Life on Earth is astonishingly adaptable. For many years, scientists believed that certain environments were simply too hostile for anything to survive. Boiling hot springs, highly acidic lakes, deep underground rocks, frozen glaciers, the crushing darkness of the deep ocean. Yet time after time, researchers discovered tiny organisms thriving in places once thought impossible. These remarkable microbes are called extremophils. Some flourish in temperatures hotter than boiling water. Others survive in water so salty that most living cells would quickly dehydrate. Certain bacteria have even been found several kilometers beneath Earth's surface, living entirely without sunlight. Instead of depending on plants or photosynthesis, these organisms obtain energy from chemical reactions involving minerals deep within the rocks. Their existence has changed the way scientists think about life throughout the universe. If microscopic organisms can survive in such harsh conditions here on Earth, perhaps life could also exist beneath the frozen crust of distant moons or within the underground oceans of other planets. Sometimes the smallest living things ask the biggest questions. Giant sequoias grow so large that they create their own ecosystem. Walking into a grove of giant sequoias feels almost like entering another world. The air becomes cooler, the forest grows quieter. Above you rise trunks so enormous that several people holding hands would struggle to reach all the way around one. Some giant sequoias exceed 80 meters in height. Their trunks contain enough wood to build dozens of average homes, but their greatest wonder is not simply their size. Each giant tree becomes a miniature world of its own. High in their branches, layers of soil slowly accumulate over centuries. Seeds carried by the wind settle there. Ferns begin to grow. Shrubs take root. In some cases, entirely separate trees grow from the branches of the larger one. Birds build nests. Insects spend their entire lives among the canopy. Small mammals find shelter high above the ground. One single giant sequoia may support hundreds of different species, quietly providing homes for generations of life. Standing beneath one reminds us that a forest is more than just a collection of trees. It is a community woven together across centuries. Saturn's moon Titan has rivers, lakes, and rain. When we imagine rivers and lakes, we naturally think of Earth. Yet one of the most Earth-like landscapes in our solar system exists nearly 1.5 billion kilometers away. Titan, the largest moon of Saturn, possesses rivers, lakes, valleys, clouds, and even rain. But there is one remarkable difference. Its rivers are not made of water. Instead, they flow with liquid methane and ethane. Titan is so cold that water behaves like solid rock. Meanwhile, methane acts much like water does here on Earth, evaporating into clouds, falling as rain, carving river channels, and collecting into vast lakes. Its thick, golden atmosphere hides the surface from ordinary view. Only spacecraft, equipped with special instruments, have revealed this extraordinary world beneath the haze. Scientists are fascinated by Titan because it demonstrates that familiar landscapes can exist under completely unfamiliar conditions. Nature often uses the same patterns while changing the ingredients. Coral reefs can be seen from space. Although coral reefs are built by tiny animals no larger than a fingertip, together they create some of the largest living structures on Earth over countless generations. Coral polyps build hard limestone skeletons beneath themselves. As old generations die, new ones continue building upward, century after century, millennium after millennium. Eventually, enormous reef systems emerge. Some stretch for thousands of kilometers. The largest, the Great Barrier Reef, is so vast that astronauts can see portions of it from space under the right conditions. Despite covering less than 1% of the ocean floor, coral reefs provide homes for nearly 1/4 of all known marine species. Brightly colored fish weave among branching corals. Sea turtles glide through clear water. Tiny shrimp, octopuses, crabs, and countless other creatures depend on these underwater cities. Coral reefs are often called the rainforests of the sea because of their incredible biodiversity. Protecting them means protecting one of Earth's richest ecosystems. The Earth's magnetic field protects us every second. Most of us never think about Earth's magnetic field. It cannot be seen, it cannot be touched, yet it quietly shields life every moment of every day. Deep beneath our feet, molten iron circulates within Earth's outer core. These enormous movements generate a magnetic field extending tens of thousands of kilometers into space. This invisible shield deflects many charged particles streaming outward from the sun. Without it, powerful solar radiation would gradually strip away much of our atmosphere. The surface of our planet would become far less hospitable to life. Occasionally, some of these charged particles slip through near the poles. When they collide with gases high in the atmosphere, they create one of nature's most beautiful displays. Curtains of green, purple, red, blue. The auroras dance silently across polar skies, reminding us that even invisible forces can create extraordinary beauty. Some desert seeds wait decades for rain. Deserts often appear lifeless. The ground seems dry and cracked. Months or even years may pass without meaningful rainfall. Yet beneath the surface, countless seeds lie quietly waiting. Some remain dormant for decades. Their protective outer shells keep them alive through blistering heat and long periods without water. Then, when enough rain finally arrives, something remarkable happens. Within days, the landscape begins to transform. Tiny shoots emerge, flowers bloom almost overnight. Fields that appeared completely barren suddenly explode with color. Bees arrive, butterflies follow, birds return to feed on newly available seeds and insects. For a brief moment, the desert becomes a vibrant garden. Then, as conditions dry once more, the plants produce a new generation of seeds. Before disappearing again, life pauses, but it never truly leaves. It simply waits patiently for the right moment. Every snowflake begins with a tiny speck of dust. It is often said that no two snowflakes are exactly alike. Whether or not this is absolutely true, every snowflake follows an extraordinary journey. High within cold clouds, microscopic particles float through the air. These may be tiny grains of dust, sea salt carried upward by the wind, or even microscopic pollen. Water vapor begins freezing around these tiny particles. As the crystal falls through the cloud, it encounters changing temperatures and humidity. Each slight variation alters the pattern of growth. 6 delicate arms slowly emerge. Branches divide again and again into intricate designs. No artist carefully carves these patterns. They arise naturally from the laws of physics. By the time the snowflake gently lands upon the ground, it has completed a journey unlike any other. For a brief moment, its intricate beauty may remain untouched. Then it melts. Its water returns to rivers, lakes, or oceans, eventually rising into the atmosphere once again. Perhaps someday it will become another snowflake with an entirely different story. As we move deeper into our exploration, one lesson quietly repeats itself. The greatest wonders are not always the largest. Sometimes they are hidden inside a single drop of seawater, sometimes beneath the bark of an ancient tree, sometimes within a tiny seed, sleeping beneath desert sand, patiently waiting for rain that may not arrive for many years. Nature rarely rushes. It works slowly, patiently, over thousands, and sometimes millions of years. And perhaps that is one of its greatest lessons. There is beauty in taking your time. There is wonder in quiet change. So as you continue listening, allow yourself to relax even more deeply. Our journey has only just begun. There is a forest that is older than the dinosaurs. When most people imagine ancient forests, they picture towering pine trees or massive oaks that have stood for hundreds of years. But long before the first dinosaur walked across the earth, forests already covered parts of our planet. Around 385 million years ago, during a period known as the Devonian, Earth looked very different. There were no birds singing from the branches, no flowering plants covered the ground. The first forests were filled with strange, primitive trees whose trunks resembled giant columns rising from a landscape unlike anything we would recognize today. Recently, scientists uncovered fossilized remains of one of these ancient forests, perfectly preserved. Beneath layers of rock, the roots still spread through the ancient soil, exactly where they had grown hundreds of millions of years ago. Standing there today is like looking through a window into a world almost unimaginably distant in time. These early forests transformed our planet. Their roots helped break apart rocks, creating richer soils. Their leaves absorbed carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and released oxygen, slowly changing Earth's climate. A single spoonful of healthy soil contains more living organisms than there are people on Earth. The ground beneath your feet may appear ordinary. Perhaps it is covered with grass, perhaps with fallen leaves, perhaps it is simply brown earth. Yet hidden within just 1 teaspoon of healthy soil lives an entire universe. Scientists estimate that this tiny amount of soil can contain billions of bacteria, kilometers of microscopic fungal threads, thousands of tiny protozoa, microscopic worms, algae, and countless other organisms. Together, they perform one of the most important jobs on Earth. They recycle nutrients, they break down dead plants, they enrich the soil, they help roots absorb water. Without them, forests could not survive. Crops would fail. The great green landscapes that cover our planet would slowly disappear. Healthy soil is not simply dirt. It is one of the richest ecosystems on Earth. Most of us walk across it every day without ever realizing the incredible world hidden just beneath our shoes. Some sharks are older than entire countries. Deep beneath the icy waters of the North Atlantic swims one of the slowest and longest living vertebrates ever discovered, the Greenland shark. Unlike many sharks, it moves calmly through the dark, cold ocean at an unhurried pace. Its metabolism is incredibly slow, allowing it to grow only about 1 centimeter each year. Scientists estimate that some Greenland sharks may live for more than 400 years. Imagine that for a moment. One of these remarkable animals may have already been swimming through Arctic waters, while famous artists were painting during the Renaissance. It may have been alive before the invention of the telescope, before many nations even existed. Generation after generation of humans has come and gone, while these quiet giants continued their patient journey beneath the ice. Their incredible lifespan reminds us that nature measures time very differently from the way we do. Lightning is hotter than the surface of the sun. A bolt of lightning lasts only a tiny fraction of a second. It flashes, the sky glows, then comes the distant rumble of thunder. The entire event seems over almost before it begins. Yet during that brief instant, temperatures inside the lightning channel can reach around 30,000 degrees Celsius. That is several times hotter than the visible surface of our own sun. This enormous burst of heat causes the surrounding air to expand almost instantly. The rapidly expanding air creates a shock wave that travels outward. That shock wave is what we hear as thunder. Light reaches our eyes almost immediately. Sound travels much more slowly. That is why we see lightning before hearing the thunder that follows. For thousands of years, lightning inspired myths and legends. Today, although we understand much more about electricity and storms, each flash still reminds us of the incredible power contained within nature. Sea turtles navigate across entire oceans with astonishing precision. Every few years, an adult female sea turtle returns to the very beach where she herself hatched decades earlier. Sometimes, she has traveled thousands of kilometers across open ocean to get there. The remarkable question is, how does she find her way? Scientists believe sea turtles possess an extraordinary ability to detect Earth's magnetic field. Different parts of the planet produce slightly different magnetic signatures. By sensing these invisible patterns, turtles appear able to create a kind of natural map. Young hatchlings, no larger than the palm of your hand, begin this incredible journey. Almost immediately after emerging from their nests, guided by moonlight reflecting on the sea, they crawl toward the waves. Only a tiny percentage survive to adulthood. Those that do may spend 30 years or more growing before eventually returning to the very coastline where their journey began.